Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the most important criteria in my opinion when you are purchasing an EC. So what is an EC? An EC is an executive condominium that caters to a sort of a sandwich class in Singapore. So you are neither eligible to buy a BTO, which is a direct HDB unit, or a private property just seems a little bit too far out for you. So you have ECs to cater for this sandwich class of people. And how does the government do that? The government does it and makes it affordable by selling land to developers that are cheaper in cost compared to, say, a private land for sale just adjoining or within that area. So it makes it affordable and therefore it lowers the pricing for that private property or executive condominium. But restrictions then come into place. And now we want to talk about eligibility conditions, which is one of the very important criteria that or condition that we should always get into first before we step into the EC purchasing zone. Okay, now let's look at the eligibility conditions overview. There are 5 of them, which HDB uses this as a condition before you can buy an EC. So number 1, we have the family nucleus. And in the family nucleus, it breaks into 4 different parts. Number 1 will be your public scheme, which basically means that you form a Singaporean family household, like a husband and wife, or a husband and wife and a kid, or a family, as then therefore you use the public scheme. Or a fiancé or fiancée scheme. So for those who are getting married, they can also use this scheme. And you have the orphan scheme, as what the name implies, is for orphans to come together to purchase an EC. Lastly, we have the joint singles scheme. Basically, these joint single schemes are for singles who are above the age of 35 to come together to form a family nucleus and to buy the EC. Secondly, we have citizenship. So at least one of them has to be a Singaporean. Okay, and the next one can either be a Singaporean or a PR. So this will be eligible. But what if it's a Singaporean citizen but with a foreigner spouse? You cannot do that. You cannot purchase an EC if just you have a foreigner and only one as Singapore citizen. But if the child is a Singapore citizen, then this qualifies you as a Singaporean family household and you can buy under the public scheme. All right. Thirdly, we have age. So when it comes to age, basically you have to be 21 years and above. But if you want to buy as joint singles, you need to be 35 years old and above. Okay. And ownership in interest. Why is this important? It's important because you do not own or dispose of any private property either locally or overseas within the last 30 months. This is to benefit Singaporeans or people who are genuinely trying to get something within their ability, and they want to discourage people from speculating in this, trying to make some capital appreciation over time. So they want this to be a true ownership for Singaporeans that want to own a private property. So they want to make sure you do not own or dispose of private property within the last 30 months. And you also shouldn't have bought, or maybe you only bought once, a direct HDB or DBSS or an EC, or use the CPF grant before. So you can only use up once before, and then you are still entitled to buy an EC. Lastly, we have household income. So basically, household income, you have to be less than 16,000, and then this makes it eligible for you to start things off. This is just a quick overview of eligibility conditions when you're buying an EC. Always sit down with your realtor to go through in detail your financial status, your ownership interest, your household income. Obviously, if you have queries on citizenship or which schemes you have, speak to your realtor. They will be able to guide you. And then maybe sometimes you assume that you may not, maybe like for example, if your income's you're getting as a household income 16,500, and that's $500 more than the income ceiling. But sometimes you do not understand how they or HDB looks at income ceiling. Talk to your realtor if you're unsure, and I hope to see you in the next video.